scene erupted in a Mobile courtroom this afternoon at the end of the trial of Doug Gonzalez. Hello, everyone. I'm Kelly Jones.
And I'm Mel Showers. This afternoon, a jury found 15-year-old Doug Gonzalez guilty of criminally negligent homicide, a lesser charge than murder. He was on trial for the shooting death of 18-year-old Matt Hall. When the verdict was read, a virtual riot ensued. Chris Kalkoff reports.
A dozen police and sheriff's officers stood by for the reading of the verdict. But when the jury convicted Doug Gonzalez on the lesser charge of criminally negligent homicide, the victim's younger brother charged at the defendant, igniting a riot. Doug Gonzalez was not hurt and quickly escaped the pandemonium of the exploding courtroom.
Tony, get over here now, quick!
The victim's younger brother and father were both taken into custody, while the mother of Doug Gonzalez stood by, trembling in fear. Extra law officers were needed to separate the two families.
All right, come on. Let's go.
And paramedics were even called in to treat those trampled in the rush. And while law officers scrambled to take control of the courthouse, Doug Gonzalez was escorted away to safety. When the courthouse was quieted, the attorneys who were at the head of the attack said the chaos was unimaginable.
I have never, in 16 years as a lawyer, seen anything like this.
I've been practicing 30 years, and I've never seen anything even remotely close to it.
The grandmother of Doug Gonzalez said she feared not only for her grandson's life, but for her own.
I was scared to death. I was scared to death.
The aunt of the victim, Matthew Hall, couldn't explain her family's attack, but said her sister is in agony.
Brenda, my sister, has a son that is dead, a husband in jail, another son in Strickland Youth Center. The person responsible for killing him is walking the streets.
Doug Gonzalez goes home a thankful but frightened teenager. He must return to this courtroom one more time to receive his punishment, where he could receive the maximum sentence of 1 year in prison. Chris Kalkoff, News Center 5.
Matt Hall Sr. has been sentenced to 5 days in jail without bond for contempt of court. However, he told authorities he was only attempting to restrain his son.
And by now you may have heard about the tragic accident near Loosedale. 9 Ingalls shipyard workers were in a van on their way to work early this morning, traveling on Highway 63 in George County. State troopers say the van's driver swerved to avoid a truck that turned into his path. The van clipped the truck's bumper, it went out of control, hit a tree, and fell into a 30-foot ravine. 5 people were killed, 4 others injured.
Southbound vehicle ran off the roadway, traveled approximately 300 feet into the ditch and flipped over, also striking a large tree on the roadway.
Were the people dead on the scene?
Yes, sir. There was 5 fatalities on the scene, 4 injuries.
And here are the names of the men who died in that wreck this morning. Kevin Eubanks, Drew Stringfellow, George Harris, William Reed, and Chip Holland. The names of those who were injured are Brian Howell, Danny Hartley, Donnie Bradley, Eugene Cook. Investigators say 80-year-old George Calhoun of Mobile was the driver of the truck that swerved into the van's path. Now, Calhoun told investigators he felt a bump when the van hit the back of his truck, but he also told lawmen he did not see any accident, and he kept on driving.
Police are searching the streets for a killer tonight. He's a murder suspect who killed his ex-girlfriend just hours after he was released from jail this morning. Here's the report from Jim Pennington.
When Pensacola police arrived at the East Belmont address, they first thought the killer was hiding in the victim's apartment. The SWAT team surrounded the house and then rushed the apartment, but the gunman had escaped. Left behind was the body of 28-year-old Crystal McElroy, the mother of twin boys. Neighbors said her ex-boyfriend, the boy's father, chased her from her apartment into the house next door. How many times did he shoot?
I don't know, because he so many times, I didn't count. I'm trying to get out of there.
Police are looking for 35-year-old James Edward Parker. He had been arrested earlier in the morning when he showed up at McElroy's apartment. Police charged him with disorderly intoxication and trespassing. Jail records indicate Parker made $500 bond and was released about 6 a.m. Less than 3 hours later, Crystal McElroy was dead. Her brother Tom said Parker had threatened his sister and was under a restraining order, and he wondered where the judicial system failed.
My sister is a victim now of a homicide, and I just can't understand what do it take?
It's a question with no easy answer. Meanwhile, police are watching the streets for a killer. Jim Pennington, News Center 5.
The victim's brother said the suspect had told his ex-girlfriend he would see her dead before he saw her with another man.
Last Sunday, the nude body of a white female was found in the Appalachia River. Today, Baldwin County investigators released her name. She has been identified as 38-year-old Karen Lynn Morgan of Mobile. Investigators released this sketch of her face earlier this week. The autopsy report indicates Karen Morgan had been strangled about a week to 10 days before her nude body was discovered. Duck hunters found the body. Deputies say Morgan frequented several bars along the causeway. We'll have more information on the woman's murder tonight at 10 o'clock. It's 2:59, and this is WKRG TV5, your 24-hour news source.
Funeral services were held today for 3 of the 5 men killed in a wreck near Lucedale on Wednesday. We'll have more on that story tonight on News Center 5.
And we will update you on the controversy over who will pull the floats during Mardi Gras parades this year.
Join us for those stories and a look ahead at your weekend weather tonight on News Center 5.
The look of